Welcome to another episode of CTFF Talks. My name's Elizabeth Jaramillo.
And my name's Veronica Delgado. Let's get started.
All right.
So we have affirmation flowers today, awesome, in honor of International Women's Month that we'll be celebrating. So we get to give ourselves affirmations or gift to other people.
Very good. Thank you, Vero.
What's your name, your title, and how long have you been at CTFF?
Okay. So my name's Elizabeth Jaramillo, but I go by Liz. I'm the Director of Personnel for the Foundation, and I've been part of this organization for 17 years, going on 18 this October. So pretty long time. How about you, Vero?
My name is Veronica Delgado. I am the People and Culture Senior Manager for Teaching Fellows. I like to give a little explanation because that's not a really common title, but essentially I work with people in our HR department and support in a lot of different ways. And I have been with the organization off and on for 14 years. It'll be 15 in July. So also significant amounts of time, and of course would not choose any other organization to be a part of.
Nice. And Vero, how were you able to grow with the foundation?
Oh my goodness. So I started as a tutor in 2004 and then worked into a site lead position. I also was an assistant lead at some point, short period of time. Ran a high school after school program. While I was doing that, I was also the director of a children's summer camp, or assistant director of a children's summer camp, and worked in the theater arts program there. I worked with a lot of international staff members and a lot of people from different, places in our country. And so I got to grow a lot in the sense of, who I was introduced to culturally, and I feel like that was a huge impact on my role now. And then also, of course, working within our HR team, we have a lot of different people that come from a lot of different walks of life as well. And so just getting to know humans and human beings and working through that has led me to this position, which I feel is such a honor to be able to hold that position within our organization. And I do not take it for granted.
That's really neat, Vero. So you asked me, Vero, for mine? Okay. So, I started as a student here at Teaching Fellows. I was actually a sub for the foundation. Started off at Fresno State. If you all don't know, Teaching Fellows was birthed out of Fresno State, Kremen School of Education. So I worked part-time there as a college student. And I was able to meet some amazing people, Dr. Price and Ann Murphy, who connected me with the nonprofit portion of Teaching Fellows. And that's how I met our current CEO, Dr. Snell. And I was provided the opportunity to help support as clerical support for, I would say probably about 6 to 8 months. And then from there, was able to go into program management, liaison role, HR manager, and then move on. And really the reason why I was able to grow is because people believe in you, and you don't take that for granted. People believe in your abilities. People believe in the opportunities of, failure and failing forward, and being able to guide you in the process and have amazing mentors and a support group and really a security blanket to be able to guide you and really create the better version of yourself professionally and personally.
Okay. What are some ways to empower yourself and the women around you?
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Gosh. We just went to an HR symposium Thursday? We went to an HR symposium on Thursday, and one of the talks there was affirmations, your power pose, being able to speak to yourself in a positive manner. And I think that really has the ability to make or break your day and your state of mind. So the way that it was discussed is, there was a statistic given, there's 80,000 thoughts that go in our brain on any given day, 80% of those are negative. So if you start by trying to really change that, you will be much more successful in being able to support yourself in these situations that you find yourself as a woman. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, to empower yourself and the women.
And the women around you. And never stop learning. I think that is a huge component. We go through the Gallup Strengths Finder, and one of my top 5 is a learner, and it's a lifelong learner. The moment you think you have it all figured out, you will be hit with something new. So being able to be open-minded and be able to take on all the information that you can be provided, whether it be constructive feedback, whether it be maybe taking a step back in your career, in your life to move 2 steps forward, is going to be beneficial. And empowering others is letting them know. Sometimes it's a lot difficult for you to see what you're good at, because you are your most difficult critic. So if you have something to share with the people, especially the women around you, do it. There's no reason why you wouldn't, especially if it's positive in nature. It's going to be empowering to them, and supportive in their role. How about you, Vero?
Well, one great opportunity that I get to thank one of my mentors and the people who has empowered me. And so thank you, Liz, for being that person for me. But genuinely, to mirror what Liz said, having people around you who see your strengths and your talents, and being able to grow in that capacity is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And of course, empowering those around you. So there's a song by Maren Morris. Have you ever heard it? It's called Girls.
Go for it.
And so one of the lines in her song, it talks about stop trying to look around you for everything that's lesser, and for what's lesser than, like, if you were lesser than me, right? Like, if you stop looking at the world that way, then what you're gonna see is that there's enough crowns for everybody, right? So it's not just about you getting the crown, it's about everyone, and how do we give them the crown, because there's enough for everyone, right?
Who has influenced you to get involved in education?
Oh, this is easy, like super easy, and hopefully she sees it. So Mom, if you're out there listening, my mom was a guidance counselor for many years in education, and particularly with the migrant community. And so getting to see her work through nonprofit, which, now as I'm older and I can reflect on it, I was a nonprofit worker for a very long time, tagging along with her and getting to see all that beautiful things that she got to do, the parent meetings that she facilitated. She did this really cool, they were able to get funding to fund guitars, and they did something called a Estudiantina. And so it was all of these students that got together, high school students, and they were able to learn guitar, and they got to go out and perform. And so music is a big thing in all of our lives, and particularly in my mom's. And so having seen her and how she was able to utilize her talents and language and culture to impact a community that we grew up in, has always been an inspiration. And then of course it transposed into education, because that's where she was at, right, in the school. So by far, that's the easiest question you can ask me. It was my mama.
That's beautiful, Vero. I feel like a champion in education in our family has been my grandmother. And one thing that my grandmother told me many years, over and over, and I didn't get it as a kid, but now most definitely I do. She says, in life, anyone can take everything away from you with the exception of your knowledge through education. So continue being that lifelong learner, like I shared earlier today. So with that, it has to be my grandmother, such a powerhouse, and the matriarch of our community.
What message would you give to young women who aspire to pursue careers in education, or other leadership fields for that matter?
Not to give up. It's difficult. If it was easy, every single person would do it.
Yes.
So keep pushing forward. When you have questions, ask. When you know of people that are doing the careers that you are interested in, have a coffee with them. Allow yourself to be vulnerable in asking those questions of, what do they enjoy? What are the challenging parts? To be able to continue growing yourself and get a deeper understanding, not just the glamorous part of having a title, having a powerful title. It doesn't come with just education, accolades, rewards, recognition, it also comes with a lot of struggle. So being able to understand what that looks like for you to continue moving your pathway forward in whatever you choose to be in. What kind of support system have you found essential, Vero, in supporting you both professionally and personally?
Personally, of course, my family, having kiddos that look up to you, and you're able to see and give opportunities to themselves is a really big deal to me. And so having that support and a husband who fully supports what I do and constantly reinforces my dreams and my wants and what I want to do. So that's another it's a big deal to have those types of supports. And I'm lucky enough to have my parents, who have always been my champions, and sisters whom I'm very close to. So, as long as you have someone in your corner, whether it's your family, whether it's a chosen family or a given family, just having those people around you are really important.
So what I'm hearing you say is that it's a network of people. It's not just one area where people get support. And I would agree with you. I think professionally, my support system has been the people I work with on a regular basis. Mike, our CEO, has been a huge support system for many of us. I mean, me personally, being able to push me to go into my master's program, something I didn't think of as a young child of completing, and allowing me to do that. That would be a support system. Veronica and the HR team that we interact with on a daily basis, if we didn't have strong moral support there, I mean, it would be difficult to deal with a lot of things that have to be worked through in our department alone. So Ms. Vero, you recently participated in the CalSec Challenge, okay? And you were able to take both your daughters with you to help raise awareness on the importance of after-school funding. Okay, remember that?
I do.
Okay. How did it make you feel? One. And then the second question is, tell us a little bit about it. Describe to us that we're not there. What was the day like?
So first off, if you haven't been to our Capitol, if you haven't gotten to see it's like a beehive is the best way to describe it, the building where all this change happens, these change makers in our world are housed for the state of California. I strongly encourage you to find a way to advocate for something that you believe in, right? And for me, in particularly this year, we're advocating for ELOP funding, which is a huge funding source of our organization, of many of the people that work in this building ourselves, but then also for the programs and the districts that we serve, our partners, right? And so understanding that impact really, takes a different level. Transferring that information to your children and seeing the lights turn on, and for them to understand, having them actually attend a program is nice. And so shout out to their programs. They got to go out and represent their schools in the state Capitol, speaking directly to the representatives that have those voices on behalf of their schools, on behalf of them as children, and seeing the investment and the messaging that was given directly to my girls about, well, we're for the kids and this is important that we hear their voice. There's no bigger impact. And of course, how did it make me feel? I was a proud mama bear, right? Like sitting there watching them. And, in particular, my oldest daughter, really getting to see her come into her own and come up with her own speech or what she was gonna say to people was really fun, and she took us all by surprise. So Mike was with us, Natalie and Terrence from our office, myself. We got to go and experience that on behalf of the organization, on behalf of everyone who is housed within these buildings or the buildings that we serve. And so understanding their shock and awe and seeing them proud of my daughters as well was just something that I'm constantly in awe with those kiddos. And so understanding that and knowing that that was an avenue that was provided to them, I'm hoping will be a very lasting impression. And I don't know, maybe they'll be the ones getting talked to later for and advocated to as senators or assemblymen in the future. So I think it was a really big eye-opener also for our young people that were there, including my daughters, that our senators and the people that serve us as assemblymen are people, right? They're people in our community. And so being able to make those connections with them is a really big deal. And we did get a couple of female senators which I was really excited for my daughters to see, and they were both, senators, women of color, which also was a big impact and a good conversation for the ride home as we were blasting music and singing the Wicked soundtrack. So.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And how fitting in Women's International Month to have the woman that's leading the two younger generations, your children. So thank you, Vero, always for the support that you provide our communities. It's beautiful to see and be working alongside
I loved
you.
it. It was so fun and empowering. And I finished my craft.
I
you
did
finish yours?
too.
Oh, you got one. Yeah, look at it. I would like that.
I'm confident I am enough. So this has been another episode of CTFF Talks.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow our socials.